Strangers, believe me when I say, loving me is loving danger. Your heart is bound to break. I walk alone in the night, neath the pale moon. Loving's for the fools. Baby, beware of my body. I'm alone, I'm alone, I'm a lone wolf. 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 I'm a creeping through the shadows and the corners of your mind. with the wind blows. I run but I don't hide. I hear the call of the wild, whispering my name. No, I can't be tamed. My heart belongs to the night. I'm alone, I'm alone, I'm a lone wolf. 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 I'm a
Alright, guys. Alright. So, happy Easter, everybody. I hope we all had a great time. We have to deal with yet another terrorist attack from the lovely religion of peace. So, yeah, let's jump into this shit stain, I suppose. But, not the way I want to spend my Easter, but, you know, hey, I suppose. Who can complain, right? So, what we're going to look at, guys, is obviously we're going to go through and we're going to talk about the Sri Lankan attack. Obviously, this is a little close to home for me, because I do have an ex who's part Sri Lankan. Her mother is from there. Her family is from there. So, I do know some of the Sri Lankan people. Hopefully, they're all okay. I haven't heard from them yet, so it's a little concerning, but at the end of the day, obviously, we'll just jump in, cover the news, talk about it. I'm more wanting to talk about what the actual facts of the story are, and also then talk about exactly the way the media is covering that. Because to me, the way the media is portraying this thing, that is a bigger thing than the way it actually, than what the facts are. It's quite interesting, actually. Multiculturalism is driving the world crazy. Yeah, multiculturalism is failing, dude. It really, really is. Look, I used to be a civic nationalist. Like, you know, I was all like, yeah, melting pot when I was younger. I was actually watching a documentary the other day, a show. I can't remember what it was now. They were talking about the people that came from, I think it might have been Atlantis or something they were talking about. Or some tribe from Europe or something like that. And they're talking about these dark-skinned sort of African tribes that came from Africa and then went up to Britain. And they're talking about how they went through and they island hopped and they went to Britain and they went to Scotland and yada, yada, yada. And they were saying then that the guys that went to England basically slaughtered all the natives and overran them. And that's how they got British tenure. Now, the thing I want to talk about from that is it's more the fact that even back then, and this is going back 6,000 years, give or take, even back then, multiculturalism wasn't working. All right? And they keep selling us this pipe dream that multiculturalism will be a great thing. It didn't work 6,000 years ago, and it's sure as shit not working now. But, yeah, we'll see, I suppose. But let's jump into it. So, Daily Mail, suicide bombers kill more than 207 people and hurt 500 in targeted attacks on Christians. Now, that's the thing, that's the key thing here that a lot of people are leaving out. It was on Christian faith. It is Muslims attacking the Christian faith. Let's not go mixing words. On Easter Sunday in Sri Lanka, Americans, British and Dutch among the dead in 8 blasts at church and at 5-star hotels. 7 suspects have been arrested after 8 explosions hit hotels and churches across Sri Lanka today. Many as 207 were killed in the Easter Sunday blasts, and up to 500 people were said to have been injured. A number of foreigners, including British citizens, are reported to have been caught in the blaze. A curfew has now been imposed in the country, and social media ban was set up in place by the government. Why is the government trying to ban social media, I wonder? 8 separate explosions occurred, an initial 6 in 3 churches and hotels, followed by further 2 later. Now, did you witness the explosion in Sri Lanka? You can contact Henry Martin at mailonline.co.uk. Happy Easter, Larry. How are you, buddy? As many as the 207 people are dead in Easter Sunday terrorist attack targeting Christians in Sri Lanka after 8 explosions ripped through the high-end hotel and churches as suspect suicide bombers blew themselves up. I wonder what faith they were. Just saying. 7 suspects have been arrested after the explosions injured up to 500 people, and the country's foreign minister said at least 27 foreigners were among those killed. Earlier reports indicate the nationals from the UK, US, and Netherlands and Portugal are among the dead. After the initial 6 blasts that hit 3 churches and hotels, mostly concentrated near the city of Colombo, a further 2 were reported later in the day, killing 207 people, a police spokesman said. British High Commissioner to Sri Lanka, James Dorison, said, "We understand that some British citizens were caught in the blasts, but are unable to say how many people are or might have been affected." Sri Lanka's Defence Ministry has now ordered a curfew with immediate effect until further notice, and the Sri Lankan government is set to shut down access to social media messaging services, sources say. Why are you shutting down social media? Maybe because you don't want information about these terrorists coming out. Too late, it's already out, and we've got that info too, by the way, so stay tuned, guys, because we're going to blow the lid off this thing. We have names. Yes, we do. The country's police chief had made a nationwide alert 10 days before today's bombing, warning that Islamic extremists planned suicide bombings at prominent churches, sources say. Yet I did not hear a single thing about it. It's funny, that, isn't it? But it's not yet clear what group, if any, is responsible for the attack. What do you mean, what group? But you have people who walked into a Christian church and blew themselves up or blew up bombs, killing 207 people. Who do you think it is? The Easter Bunny? And this is the thing that's really frustrating about this at the most, is the fact that the media is trying to downplay this as much as they can. Look, at the end of the day, here, I'll give you I'm gonna do something I don't normally do. I'm gonna post the site that I use for the aggregator. Right, this is the site that I use to get all my news, okay? Don't copy it. So, just waiting for it to load. Now, obviously, we have photos of the explosions. Hopefully, none of them are too gory. There are some gory photos I'm just leaving out because it's like literally body parts. Yeah, like this is like the devastation. Like even that has like blankets covering people. Like here it is here. It's all the information. We do have this video, and I'm going to play this for you guys now because this is actually kind of relevant. So just a trigger warning for anybody that is a little bit squeamish, because yeah, this is going to be actual footage. Yeah, it's awful, man. It really is. But let's go. So viewer discretion advised. This is from inside one of the church, and this is showing you the sort of the impact. This is the religion of peace, remember? Come on, left. Where is this religion of peace that we keep hearing about? Because to me, this doesn't look very peaceful. It's not all Muslims. No, you're right. It's not. But unfortunately, the ones that it are makes a hell of a mess. Now, so this is the news aggregator that I use, right? That I use. So let's bring up. It's not going to work, is it? No, it's not going to work. Oh, hang on, maybe. I have to log in. Alright, so that's not going to work. Alright, but what I was going to show you guys was on this news aggregator, right? 10 hours ago, 20 killed as church and hotels targeted. 10 hours ago, 50 killed in churches and hotels targeted. 9 hours ago, hundreds hurt as blast hit Sri Lanka. 9 hours ago from CNN, 75 dead in multiple blasts. 9 hours ago, at least 100 killed. Like, it's they can't even consistently get the numbers right. Like, CNN here, right? Sri Lanka's blast kills at least 75 dead. That was literally from 9 hours ago. Yet 9 hours ago, NBC News was reporting that at least 100 killed. Right? 10 hours ago, BBC was saying that 20 were killed. But 10 hours from BBC also said that 50 were killed. Like, I know the news is fluid and everything like that. I get that. But why is there such a huge difference in some of these totals? Now, of course, obviously now since then, we know that it was 201 or 203 or something like that. And some of the reports that I saw earlier, even in the day, were just saying dozens. Like, here it is here. Dozens dead in Sri Lankan church. What do you mean dozens? What, was there a baker's dozen? What? How many dozens do you need before you realise that you're sort of leaving 100 or so people off the death toll? Like, this is not an old article. This article was put up at 11 p.m. Australian time, right? Which was literally an hour ago. An hour and a half. Less than that. Less than an hour. About an hour and 20 minutes ago. Dozens are dead. No, they're not fucking... There's not a dozen. Alright? There's 200. Okay? I knew 2 hours ago, and probably half an hour before this article was written, that it wasn't a dozen. And this is what's infuriating me the most about this whole shit stain from media. Is at the end of the day, they're going through and they're making it, they're trying to downplay it. Oh, it's only a dozen. No, it's 200 frigging dead. 500 are frigging injured. Not a dozen. A dozen is 13. A dozen is 13. A baker's dozen. Or a dozen is 12. Not frigging 200. And the media sitting there, why doesn't anyone believe us anymore? Because you're literally downplaying this to suit an agenda. Be frigging honest. God, it's frustrating. It really is. Hey, Squirrel, how are you, buddy? No worries, Tad. No worries, man. No worries. But, you know, like, obviously some of the news is reporting somewhat at least close to the mark. At least 100 killed. This was apparently 2 minutes ago. There's still 100 off the total, but hey, you know, I suppose, you know. Here, this one from the BBC, at least the BBC seemingly is getting the total somewhat correct. More than 200 killed. That was 27 minutes ago. Like, at least they got that idea right, I suppose. But so the MSN is trying to cover for Islam. My understanding is, yeah, that would be a, yeah. Yeah. Sri Lanka blast, at least 140 dead, more than 560 are injured. Sri Lanka, 190 dead, hundreds injured in church. Hundreds, really? You're going to say hundreds? That's it, 100 to you. Not the fact that it's 500, I think it was 400 injured from Sky News, which can't even seemingly get the total right. So the 400 is probably an understatement too, mind you. 190 dead and injured, hundreds injured in church, hotel explosions on Easter Sunday. Sri Lanka Easter bombings, mass casualties, churches and hotels. Seven suspects arrested after a series of bombings kills at least 160 people. We now know it's close to 200. Look, obviously, news is fluid. I'm not going to crucify them too much for that because at least they're somewhat around the ballpark, and obviously at the end of the day, news is fluid, so that's fine. 400 are wounded, but they're not saying who it is. Oh God, no! Let's not mention the white elephant in the room. Sri Lanka's defense minister says 7 suspects have been arrested. Okay. What's their names? Let me guess. Muhammad, and Muhammad. The island nation was struck by a total of 8 explosions, police say. 7 other attacks were carried out by suicide bombers. What religion do we all know that does suicide bombings? I'll wait for you guys to answer. I bet you get it right. Like, the explosion brought down the upper level of a home and killed 3 police officers, source said. Most of the victims were killed on 3 churches were worshipping and attending Easter services. Other 3 bombings struck luxury hotels, the Cinnamon Grand, Killsburg, and the Charlotte, located in the heart of Colombo, killing at least 37 foreigners. Among the dead were Japanese, Dutch, British, American, Portuguese tourists, according to AFP. A hotel office at the Cinnamon Grand said the suicide bomber blew himself up at the facility's restaurant. He came up to the top of the queue and set off the blast, he said. Yeah, I'm seemingly having connection problems to try and work that one out. It's been fine right up until I start ranting about mainstream media being a lot of crap, but yeah. It'll come back. It keeps bouncing back. And it's getting updated soon, so they won't have an excuse for cutting it, I suppose. Prime Minister had an emergency meeting with the county's top military officials at the National Security Council. He also called for an emergency convening of the nation's parliamentary on Monday. I condemn these attacks, which are targeted religious places and some hotels. Sri Lanka Attack, 7 arrested after 207 killed at hotels and churches on Easter Sunday. Yeah, Paul, yeah, it has. This is the religion of peace that we keep hearing about. Like, this is the religion of peace here. This is their legacy. And what's the left excuse for this now? What, the alt-right is apparently infecting Sri Lanka? No, really not. What did Sri Lanka do to deserve this? Someone tell me, because I'd love to know. But anyway. Blasts at church and hotels in Sri Lanka said to kill almost 200. It's over 200 now. It's 205, I think. But yeah, there's the bombings there. There, I presume, is the different areas. It's more than that now. It's an old map. At least 207 people killed, so it's 207 at the moment, after churches and luxury hotels hit by explosions. Dozens dead. Here it is again. Dozens. Fucking dozens. Is that the same article? Yeah, it's the same article. Sri Lanka church and hotel explodes, more than 200 dead. Sky News, wrong count 2 minutes ago. What's the excuse for getting the count wrong? Sky News. 100, 400 are injured. Australian tourists is caught up in the Colombo hotel attacks, as many 35 tourists have been killed in the Sri Lankan bombings, with major hotels targeted and the Australian tourists saying they are frightened. This is what we got to look forward to. The rest of the world. This is what happens with multiculturalism. At least 50 killed, apparently, from Sky News. I think that's a little old, that one there. Explosions rocked Sri Lanka, at least 200 killed. Now, obviously there's a lot of pushback on social media. And a lot of people on social media are going through and are asking the questions, why is not the mainstream media reporting on this accurately? And why is there such a big difference between what we're covering with this, for example, this attack, and, for example, the attack over in New Zealand? And there's a very good question that needs to be answered. Imam, which is a ex-religious Muslim, by the way. I think he's still Muslim, but he used to be more extreme. Lack of media interest in what's happening in Sri Lanka is both disgusting and disgraceful. Like this is a video, and I'm just going to video on this because you guys need to just hear the way people are screaming and that. Like, to give you an idea, that's the sort of the scene at the moment that people are. This is what people have literally gone to church. There's a guy with blood running down his arm. All he was doing was going to friggin' church. But apparently you can't do that in Sri Lanka anymore without some F-wits deciding to set off a few bombs to kill 200 people. But holy shit, some alt-right F-wit walks into a New Zealand mosque and kills 50 people, and you never hear the end of it. Yet, this lasted all of about what? It's probably going to last half a day in the news cycle? Probably. We heard about the New Zealand attacks for weeks. Literally 4 times the amount of people are dead, and the media probably won't give half the amount of shits that they gave when they were talking about the New Zealand shooting. Here, compare the levels of outrage with what happened in Sri Lanka with Christchurch, New Zealand. triple the amount of casualties. It's actually 4 times now, but this was written 1 hour ago. Amount of injured people. It offends me that others, like-minded Muslims that were special treatment and other equal humans don't. Is he not wrong? Well, where's the outrage, media? Yeah, where's the national inquiries into the rise of the alt-right? Where's the banning that's going to come because of, Zero Hedge reported on this? Where's the banning of 4chan or 8chan equivalents? What are they going to do? They're going to go through and start banning some of the hate speech from the Muslims now? Don't be silly. You're kidding me, right? No way in hell. Andy, Sri Lankan police spokesman says 2007 have been killed. BBC says that 7 have been arrested, and the bombings are believed to be suicide attacks carried out by one group. They still are not talking about the names. But don't worry, we've got them. Faith Goldie, we'll tell you about that in about a sec, actually. Before a gruesome attack on Christians in Sri Lanka goes down the memory hole as some sort of workplace violence, they probably have mental issues, don't worry, reported. Signs of Muslim extremists. Intelligence says radical Muslims, likely suicide bombers. Mohammed Azmazit responsible for the hotel attack. Imagine my freaking shock. Now, obviously, Trump has joined world leaders condemning Sri Lanka terrorist attack. 138 people have been killed. Mind you, he wrote this literally, 3 hours, 4 hours ago. This is the thing. Here's Trump writing this at 9:20 p.m. I don't know when did Trump write this? We'll look that up. Real Donald Trump. Here we go. He wrote it. He wrote it 3 hours ago, right? So 3 hours ago, the President of the United States was talking about 138 people being killed. At the same time, the mainstream media was writing, get this, dozens. Really? Yeah. And you wonder why people call you fake news. You really do. Obviously, also Emmanuel Macron has supposedly condemned the violence. Theresa May has obviously spoken out because, they're world leaders and they have to, I suppose. Sri Lankan police chief had warned of suicide attacks threat before the blast. So this is interesting. Sri Lanka's police chief made a nationwide alert 10 days before the Sunday's bombing attack in the country that suicide bombers plan to hit prominent churches, according to a warning seen by AFP. Police chief Putajasmari, I'm getting that name wrong, I'm sorry, sent an intelligence warning to top officers on the April the 11th, setting out the threat. A foreign intelligence agency has reported that the NTJ, the National Hathru Janmath, is planning to carry out suicide attacks at prominent churches, as well as the India High Commissioner Council in Colombo, said the alert. Now, if I go through and Google the National Hathru Janmath, whatever this is, am I going to find this is a Muslim group? Let me guess. Yep. Patrick, I saw this report on YouTube. There was no coverage of this mass killing on the mainstream media. Whereabouts are you, Patrick, if you don't mind me asking? I know your last name's Ireland, but are you in Ireland or are you in Australia or whatever it may be? If you don't mind me asking, of course. So the National Heathrow of what a surprise! Jihadi Watch has a website on them. Jesus Christ. Sri Lankan Foreign Intelligence reports that Muslim group was planning to target the attack with jihadi suicide attacks. But the mainstream media is not listing it still as terrorism. I wonder why. Russian security chief, actually, this I found interesting. 1,500 ISIS terrorists have made their way to Europe from the Middle East. Some 1,500 out of 5,000 terrorists have arrived in the European Union from the Middle East, according to experts' estimates. A significant number of them are gunmen who have been sent by Chafians to Europe to continue terror attacks. Surprise. More photos of the devastation. Like, seriously, next time someone turns around and says Islam is the religion of peace, just send them this photo. Just send them that photo right there. Sri Lanka attacks everything we know about the Easter Sunday church attack. Alright, so 207 people have been killed, 450 have been injured of a series of bombings. So there was 8 explosions that hit Catholic worshippers attending Easter Mass and services. Please avoid propagating unverified reports. In other words, don't talk about anything that we haven't officially announced. Well, stiff shit, I'm going to. The bombings are not the doing of fanatical individuals. It's obviously a highly coordinated fanatical individuals, maybe. Yeah. But yeah. Sri Lankan bomber queued at the hotel buffet and then unleashed devastation. Suicide bomber waited patiently in a queue for the Easter Sunday breakfast buffet at Sri Lanka's Cinnamon Grand Hotel before setting off the explosives strapped to his back. Carrying a plate, a man who had registered at the hotel the night before as Muhammad Muhammad was just about to be served when he set off the devastating strike in the packed restaurant, the manager at the Sri Lankan hotel said. That's alright, Trip. You can always rewatch it later, man. It'll be, yeah. So... Hey TL, how are you, buddy? Wow, I just found this out. Great Easter morning, shaking my head. Yeah, I know. Tell me about it, man. This is the religion of peace, everybody. Sri Lanka has seen a spike in jihadi activity since 2017. The problem of the Islamic State has been rampant in Sri Lanka since 2006. The EU Parliament was told that 32 Muslims from elite families had joined the ISIS. Following year, scores of Sri Lankan ISIS terrorists had returned from Syria, following which there was a spike in jihadi activity. It may also be recalled that postgraduate student from Sri Lanka, Muhammad Nazim, was charged with ISIS-affiliated terror-related offences in Australia. He was accused of being a part of a plot to assassinate the Australian politicians. So, 7 terrorists have been arrested. 2 of the terrorists have been identified as, and here's their names. Sorry, Prime Minister of Sri Lanka, but I don't give a shit. Their names are Zaran Haram, great Sri Lankan name there, by the way, and Abu Muhammad. BBC doesn't mention their names. We don't know yet if the 2 identified were suicide bombers, which makes them 9, or if they're the 7 terrorists that using planted bombs. Trip's done some little bit of research. Thank you very much, Trip, actually. 70.2% are Sri Lankans identify as Buddhist, 12% are Hindu, 9.7% are Muslims, and 7.4% are Christians. That would mean that the 7.4 are a minority. But the left doesn't seem to care about that minority. I wonder why. I thought they all cared about minorities. Wasn't that the load of crap they try and sell people? So obviously, Imam Muhammad Tanadi, I'm getting that name wrong, has obviously gone through and named them. There they are there as Azia Hamash and Abdu Muhammad. But when you go and look at the BBC reporting, it just says 7 people arrested over Sri Lanka attack. Government says most of the 8 blasts were suicide bombers. Is that all they said? Really? Because it doesn't seem like that's all they said. It seems like they also mentioned the name, which the BBC doesn't seem to want to talk about. Boy, that's weird, isn't it? Avi Yemeni, spot the difference. Christchurch, 60 Muslims killed. I thought it was actually 50, but yeah, close enough. Condemnation from the entire Muslim world. Worldwide rallies, fundraisers. PM New Zealand wears her hijab and speaks Arabic. Minute of silence marked by the Islamic call to prayer. Sri Lanka, hundreds of Christians killed. 205 actually, by the way. Nothing. Now, obviously, look, the end of the day, some of this stuff from New Zealand obviously took a few days for it to happen. So we'll give them their due diligence, I suppose. I don't know. Maybe we should make a movement where people should wear a cross in solidarity with the Sri Lankan Christians killed. What do you guys reckon? You reckon we can get that trending on Twitter? Hey, we can get all the Muslims to wear the Christian garments for the day. Maybe we can get the New Zealand Prime Minister to start going to Christian Mass, condemning it, condemning this attack from Islam. Like that'll happen. Trip, I think the BBC is worse than CNN. Yeah, I think so too, actually. The worst thing is that BBC is state-sponsored. CNN, at least, is a private company. BBC is the propaganda arm of the EU globalists. Yeah, pretty much. But, yeah, everybody knows that, though. But, yeah, BBC is state-sponsored. The license fee, TV license fee that you pay over in the UK, that actually goes towards funding them. So, you're over in the UK, you're all funding the BBC. Wear a cross, great idea. Yeah, I think so, too. I think everybody should have to wear a cross on a certain day. We'll get the Muslims to jump in onto it, hey, too. What do you reckon? Wear a cross in solidarity with the Sri Lankans that were killed. You reckon that'll take off? You reckon that'll like that? Sri Lanka cross. Yeah, there we go. Let's see if we can get this trending. Alright, guys? I'm going to make... After the end of this video, I'm going to put up a post and I'm going to suggest that everybody should... Here it is here. So, to stand in solidarity with the Christians killed in Sri Lanka. I think we all should have a, what was it, a minute or 2 minutes? Minute. Support for the victims. What was her name? What was the Prime Minister of New Zealand's name again, guys? Does anyone know? Yeah, big difference, isn't it? What's the New Zealand Prime Minister's? Oh, I forgot what her name is. I always call her horse face. All right. At the moment, it's a Hearn. What's her name? I've forgotten it now. Jacinta Hearn. That's it. Jacinta Hearn's Twitter account. Let's tag her in this. Hey, what do you guys reckon? Let's see if we can get Jacinta Hearn to go through and to wear a Christian cross. Jacinta Hearn should lead a service There we are. Jacinta Hearn could lead a service. What do you reckon? You reckon this will take off or what? I'm going to steal your hashtag there. Hope you don't mind. Hello, Dremva. We're just doing a little bit of shit posting right now. We're trying to see if we can get Jacinta Hearn. There it is there. There is the tweet there, guys. Oh, damn it. I think I spelled... Damn it. I put Sri Lanka the wrong way. Me and dyslexia. Hang on a sec. Let me fix this. Delete. Alright. Oh, no. No, that was right. Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah, sweet. Alright. Sorry, it was right. It just looks wrong. Alright, here it is here. Media and shit posting. High level. The European man's tweet. I don't know what tweet you're talking about there, man. Yeah. I'm from Sri Lanka, but I live in Germany. Is everybody that you know okay there, Dremva? Is everybody okay? Let us know. Hopefully everybody's fine, man. So there it is there, guys. Me doing a little bit of shit posting. Let's see how that goes. Alright. So what we know so far on Easter Saturday, at least it's coordinated bombings from 8 people struck Sri Lanka, targeting churches and hotels. 7 people have been detained, and they still do not mention the names of the people. Local church are reporting that this is the image of Haran Haram, I'm getting that name wrong, one of the terrorists responsible for the Sri Lankan attacks. Trust but verify. It's still too early to confirm, but do expect other moustacheless, handsome faces to surface soon. It's weird, that, isn't it? Look at the one finger salute there. They are fine. That's good to know. Yeah, I'm going to post it on Gab too, don't worry. I should also use the Sri Lankan Attack, actually, didn't I? I should have used the Sri Lanka attacks. Let's delete that. Let's repost it with the Sri Lanka attacks. Tweet. Sorry. There you go. I fixed it. I added Sri Lanka attacks and Sri Lanka blasts there. So maybe she'll get it now. Alright. And maybe people will retweet it too. So who knows? We'll see how we go. Just an accident, yeah. I have Gab. Alright, yeah, I'm going to post it on Gab. Here we go. Post. I'll post the link if you want to retweet it, guys. No, I can't do it. It is... If you follow me on Gab, that, for Gab, you can go through my Gab. It's just what I just literally reposted. So it should be there for you. But yeah, look, at the end of the day, guys, that's basically what we know so far at the moment. Look, the main reason I'm pissed off with this is obviously the way that the media is covering it, or not covering it, really. That's the frustrating thing. And then they try and downplay it as well, which is just really infuriating. But yeah. But I don't know. Well, what do you guys reckon? You reckon the media will make a big song and dance about this? Or do you think they'll sweep under the memory hole as soon as they can? Is it a mask that you are wearing? Mask? On Gab? I don't have a mask. No. I have a like a watchtower symbol. Maybe that's what you're talking about. So, is it a mask that you're wearing? Or you're talking about the little panda. Little panda's an avatar. So, little red panda. Yeah. I don't know, guys. Apart from that, what do you guys want to say? You guys want to add anything, or do you want me to wrap it up now? Or let us know what your thoughts are in the comments. I'll give you a couple of seconds and then we'll jump off, I suppose. But that's all I had to say about it. Just giving you guys an update on what the situation is. letting you know what we know at the moment. Taking my shoes off. I just got home from work. Alright, well that's where we might wrap it up then. Unless you guys have anything to say. No? But guys, obviously don't forget to hit that like button. I think he means face rec. Oh, yeah, no, it's an avatar. It's a little panda. So okay, yeah. Yeah, no, it's a little avatar. I don't use my real face because at the end of the day, well, I get, doxing threats and death threats and stuff like that, so it's a lot harder to dox a panda. What's your Twitter handle? I can't find you. Yeah, it's actually that. So Twitter is actually missing the A off the end. So Nonpartisan Media. That's on Twitter. Gabba's Media. Gabba allows you to have that extra character, which is kind of useful. I think there was someone. No, it was just short. I think it was short. Yeah. Apart from that, guys, any questions, any comments, anything at all before you jump off? No. Alright, little announcement. There is a video that will be going up. Was supposed to be tonight, but there's obviously this happened, so that's kind of put a dampener on it. But there's a video going up probably tomorrow night now. It's going to be talking about Notre Dame fires and the conspiracy theory about that and what actually happened with that. And we do have some interesting information. So, yeah, that'll be definitely going up tomorrow. And then obviously we'll be back doing a live show on Tuesday morning our time or Monday night your time, depending where you are in the world. I still got to work out the time conversion thing. But yeah. Apart from that, guys, obviously the video's been helpful. Please smack that like button. If you have any questions, any comments, any queries at all, please feel free to smack them in the comment section below. And obviously we'll have a discussion about it. Apart from that, guys, obviously if you're jumping Discord, I'll be in there. And apart from that, guys, I'm going to have a shower. I'm going to have something to eat and then play some games, I suppose. Obviously, I'll keep an up to date on this story. I'll be following it. So anything breaking changes, obviously, I'll put up a new video. But this will probably be it for the day for the Nonpartisan Media channel. Apart from that, guys, thank you for everybody who jumped in. Thank you everybody who came, who saw, who raged with me. I'm not on social media. I don't blame you, squirrel. I'm only on there because I have to be, really. Yeah. Apart from that, yeah. Apart from that, guys, thank you very much, everybody.